Hi guys, welcome back. I was just thinking about something and I thought I would pop on here really quick and make a video about it. So I still go on Tumblr sometimes because I feel like there's still good content on there even though it's kind of dead, but basically I follow a lot of blogs that post like pretty positive messages about like mental health and recovery and stuff, and I feel like every time I go on there I'm like getting reminded that recovery is not a straight line and that it's okay, you know, to have bad days here and there. That doesn't mean that you're not recovering, and that doesn't mean you're doing a bad job, and like, you know, all that stuff. And I feel like seeing those posts really helps me a lot, and then it kind of dawned on me that not everyone sees those. Like, in fact, a lot of people don't, because, like, you know, who goes on Tumblr? I mean, maybe if you have, like, a therapist, they're, like, reminding you this all the time, but not everyone gets reminded this, and I just want to remind everyone out there who happens to come across this small channel that, it's okay to have bad days sometimes. I had a bad day the other day, and I've had a lot of bad days within the past couple years, which is the time that I've been doing the most recovering from my mental illness, which, if you don't know, is mainly depression, and some symptoms of depression that I struggled with were like suicidal ideation and self-harm and stuff like that. I still feel like I still feel weird like saying that kind of thing. I feel like I have to like be funny about it somehow, but I'm gonna try to be serious. I'm sorry. Making the choice to recover is a huge step. Like, wanting to actually get better is, I feel like that's like half of the work right there, because when you're in like the lowest part, you want to get worse. Like, you just like want to stay like in your sad feeling, you know, but even though that is like a huge step, once you make that step, it's not just gonna be straight to the top from there. It's gonna be a bumpy road, it's gonna be a jagged line, it's gonna be full of good days and bad days, and this is something that I want to remind myself as well, because honestly, sometimes you kind of want to go back on that choice you made to recover from your mental illness, whatever it is you're trying to recover from, whether it's like addiction or depression or whatever. Sometimes you want to go back on the choice to get better because you're like, well, fuck it, maybe I should just get worse again. Like, you're having a bad day and you're like, maybe I should just give up. Maybe this is just, maybe I'm done trying. But here's the thing. Like, the other day, I had this really weird feeling, this really weird thought that is very problematic, but I'm gonna tell you about it, and I'm gonna tell you why it's problematic. I had this thought that I was like, I kind of missed being like in the lowest of the low. I kind of missed being suicidal, for lack of a better word. That's just what it is. I'm not gonna like sugarcoat it. I did not want to live, and I had this feeling of like, I kind of miss those times, because that sounds crazy probably, but the reason that I miss them is because I was remembering the one like kind of good that came out of that, which was like, during that time I kind of started to give no fucks. Like, I was never worried about like a job or money or anything, because I was like, my life is coming to a close and I just want to have as much fun as possible. I don't care what people think of me anymore. I don't care about planning for my future. I was pretty like low anxiety, even though I was very high in like depression and stuff. I stopped caring, and I started to I was kind of losing my mind, but in like a kind of exciting way. Like, I don't know how to describe it if you've never felt this, but picture like, you know, you're gonna die soon of something. How would you live your last week on earth or whatever? I was always kind of living like that, because I thought I knew that I was not gonna be alive for very long, which now is false, obviously, but at the time that's really what I believed. And so I would just like kind of do whatever I wanted. Like, I started doing things that I was never brave enough to do before. Like, I would go to concerts by myself just because like I wanted to go. I would go out like to skate parks and like skateboard badly in front of people and like fall while trying to do tricks and like just not care what people thought about that, which like now I don't even know if I would be able to work up the courage to do that again. Like, it's crazy, but my brain is lying to me, is the point. My brain is remembering the one good in this like horrible situation that I was in. Like, deep down in my heart, I know that that time in my life was awful. Like, it was the worst. The thoughts in my head were the worst. The nights alone, the crying, the self-harming, the just like absolute misery. I sound so dramatic right now, but it was miserable. Like, it was a miserable time. And my brain is like tricking myself into thinking that I want to go back there, which I don't. I'm in such a better place now. The brain just is funny that way. Like, it reminds me of people who, like, I don't know, miss their ex or something. Miss their ex or something. I don't really have any exes other than like really small and short like high school relationships, but yeah, so I can't really relate to this, but when people say like, oh, I miss my ex, like I wish we didn't break up or whatever, and I'm like, I mean, there's a reason why you broke up, you know? Like, you're just remembering the good times, you're just remembering the fun that you had, but you're not remembering all the arguments, you're not remembering all the shitty things and like the reason why you ended things, right? So like, isn't that funny how the brain tricks you sometimes? Like, it wants to be nostalgic and it wants to remember good things and just like forget about the bad things. Isn't that weird? Yeah, basically I just wanted to remind everyone of that, and remind myself too, because like I need to check myself and be like, that's like, wake up. You don't want to be back there. You want to be here. Even though I'm more anxious now, I actually have to plan for my future, which is something that I never thought I would have to do. I actually have to like worry about things, but I mean, that's a small price to pay for not wanting to die. So yeah, there may always be days where I think things like this and where I feel really down and where I want to give up, but that doesn't mean that I'm not still doing better than I was before. Sometimes I get worried when I think about the idea that I'll never be like fully better, that I'll always have bad days. But I mean, a couple years ago, I thought that I would never be better than what I was then, you know? So like, what's to say that I can't get better than what I am now? You know what I mean? Does that make sense? I think that it's important to keep pushing through because you never know how your mental state could change. I know that mental states feel so permanent when you're in them, but they're just so not. They're just so not. That's all I have to say, I guess. I don't know. I just had to hop on here and just like say a few words. I hope everyone's doing well. You can leave me a comment down below and tell me how you're doing, and tell me if you've ever been through something like this or you kind of relate to anything that I'm saying here. And of course, let me know if you have any questions, any video ideas. I would love to cover more like mental health topics because, I don't know, I've been through a lot, I guess, and I'm down to talk about it. I just like don't always know where to start or like what specific topic to go for. So yeah, let me know if you want to hear me talk about anything specific, and I hope you are doing great. This was just a quick little video. If you want to see my face again and you're not subscribed, feel free to subscribe. Okay, I will see you guys next time. Bye. Song recommendation of the day is Suicide Bends by Josh A. Alright, bye guys.